Hello, everyone. This is Jim Okerzinski with your Week 11 lecture video. We are wrapping up Chapter 3 this week, culminating in the double entry journal. And just to point out to everyone who might be watching this video, I have an instructional video about the double entry. I talk at length. I believe I show you how to construct tables and merge them together, how to work with not only that, but the template, and also an example of the double entry journal here. So I'm not going to run through too much on this activity. It is due, I believe, on Sunday, end of day. So we've already had a couple of activities, especially the note takers triad and how to work with the sources. You can see as our activities have developed, we have the annotated bibliography where everyone has located sources for their topic, their research topic, through presentation of the annotations, the citations, and covering the wide variety of the categories of source material that's available out there. We're starting to really build some working knowledge. The double entry journal then takes a step from the annotated to get a little bit more into a tighter focus with some individual quotes, paraphrases, or summaries from those sources, where you actually do some writing and thinking about what that quote might mean toward your research topic. So now we're going to be moving on next week to Chapter 4. So I thought in this week's lecture video, I'd get a little bit of a jump on Chapter 4 and start talking about exactly where we are going here. So Chapter 4 is the big drafting chapter. We're at the end of the chapter and the end of this module. We will have the first draft of the research essay. I'll talk about that assignment as we move through the next week. And next week, week 12 lecture video. Here you can see all the different assignments for the first draft, peer review 1, peer review 2. But I'd like to spend some time talking about exercise 4.1, which will be due next Tuesday. I think everybody should get a heads up on this particular activity. So exercise 4.1 from the textbook is where you do what Ballinger calls this dialogue with Dave. You've collected all your information, you've presented your annotation, you've looked at it in a way of how it connects to your research topic, but now we have to start converting all this knowledge and information into how do we present this to an audience? Why does this really matter? Okay, I ask a lot of questions like the so what and who cares questions. Why does this matter to me? Because really, remember now, when we write for the audience, right? Writing's not about you, it's about the reader. So the idea here is we're going to start thinking about your topic in a much more focused fashion. So as you can see here, dialogue with Dave is really an interesting activity because it starts off chapter 4 in the textbook. Remember, this is the chapter about getting to the draft. You want to read the section here about exploration or argument that Ballinger talks about. But more so than this, take the time to read dialogue with Dave. Now, sometimes this is done in class. Usually I have people interview each other face to face. One person is Dave, and then they switch roles. So you want to keep up this conversation and be as extensive as you can. And it's a little bit hard to do in a discussion board, but we have it to give it our best shot. So really what you should do here is for the initial post is you want to answer all of Dave's questions that are here on the left side, okay? I have a list. They may not be exactly what's in the textbook, but I've kind of boiled this down. So this is a conversation. I say I'm expecting some engagement. After you finish answering Dave's questions, complete step 2 and answer Dave's final question from the textbook. So you want to make sure you get to his final question in step 2 here. Then you want to make sure that you have to respond to 2 of your discussion, two of your classmates. So you have to really kind of like comment on the answers to these questions. So the best way to handle this, and Ballinger makes reference to it about setting up a table format in a document, right, with 2 columns. We can do this relatively easy here. Here's my worksheet on this one. So it's just like you set up a table format for the double entry. Really easy, 2 by 2 table, and all you have to do is Put your questions in one side here, Dave on the left, you on the right. Here are all the questions from Dave. Just pretend Dave is asking you these questions and write your answers here. The column will stretch out with all your answers. I'm looking for some in-depth answers here, something that really answers the questions. I want something specific. I'm not looking for general or just generalizations. You know, the time for generalizations and talking in abstract terms is about over with now. So what we want to be able to do is start zeroing in and being specific. So you can set this up, and then basically when it comes time to do your post, all you have to do is just click on the reply button, open up the text box, and copy and paste your post right there from the template. Just make sure you do a little spacing so it's easy to read. That's really a straightforward activity. So that'll get you thinking about Dave's questions. So you want to be able to really do a little work, think about the answers to this, okay? And I can guarantee you this is a valuable activity to where you start thinking differently about your topic and your sources, okay? So, like I said, this is the activity that's due next Tuesday. We begin chapter 4. And we'll start focusing not only on 4.1, 4.2, but also 4.3. You might want to take an advanced look at that activity. That's where you write 3 introductions, 3 separate introductions to start off your research essay. So you want to take a look at those instructions, all right? So that's the lecture video for week number 11. If you have any questions or issues, send me an email.